I wanted a band name that meant absolutely nothing, and band names that, the music usually defines of what the band name sounds like or what it is. So Fort Rooster really means nothing. I asked my brother, give me an animal, and he said, how about a rooster? And I said, yeah, that's good.
Sure.
So that's that. The great thing about this band is everybody individually has really separate interests, and they all kind of come together into this, what would you call it?
Jam. It's jam.
Jam.
Jam. I think the cool thing about the record by far is Rob kind of came with some templates of a lot of the songs he had written, and we sort of got to flesh our parts out and kind of be creative with the things that we were going to play and sort of be able to kind of bounce it off one another when we were practicing. And I think that process alone made the CD, I think, go beyond where any of us really thought it was going to go. The recording process was definitely a little tedious. I think we had a year with Josh.
Yeah.
That kind of fell through. He was recording the record, he was doing it for free and a very good job. And then that, for whatever reason, sort of fell by the wayside. And then we actually wound up doing the drum takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes down the road. And I remember the first night we went in, we did maybe five to six songs. And the next night we came back and somehow they got botched. So we wound up having a slot from 8:30 to 4:30 in the morning and wound up recording all the drum takes.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
North Albany?
That was at North Albany Studios. Yeah, I mean, that album was probably a 2-year process to record. So the songs are kind of, they've been around for a little while. And I went through a couple of different mediums trying to find a way to record these songs with, different people in different studios, and nothing really worked out. So I figured, why not just do it myself? And the guys in the band, they'll be able to get it done with me as quality and quickly. And it was a learning process too. It taught me a lot about recording and engineering and stuff. But I'm just super proud of it, and I'm glad that the guys behind me are on the album.
Yeah, I'm super proud of it, dude. I think it became quite a labor of love for you, dude. And I think to that end, too, him talking about, a learning process, I think going in and doing a sophomore record and just going through that process with the studio, and I think particularly for Rob, too, because he spent so much time with the material trying to get it to where it is now. You make mistakes, you learn things, you learn what to do, you learn what not to do. I know for me as a musician, just even things I did with the drum tracks, I'll never tell, but there are definitely things on there that I would change now, knowing what I did and having played them as much as I had and having more time with them, but you don't get the opportunities.
The most fun about the whole process was when, when it was just me and Madison sitting down and we wrote, a pretty wide variety of different parts, just spontaneously, just picking out guitar tones and things like that, and just being creative and really, letting her rip. Hanging 10.
Yeah,
so.
It is fun, and most fun that I had with it is actually becoming a band, with the recording process. It was,
right.
You were playing shows and recording and making parts to the songs, so it actually formed, us.
That song was one of the songs that I wrote after I got a band together. And that was probably one of the more, I guess, has a little bit more of a story behind it, just like, family stuff and this and that. And I don't know, that's one that I'm especially proud of. And I think the way that the band sounds on the recording is just, it came out better than I thought it could ever come out. Yeah, that one, probably there's no emotional attachment to the lyrics of that one. It's we had a friend, his name was, I didn't call him this, but other people called him Mr. Ducks, and I don't know. He's not ugly. I mean, he's a good-looking guy. He looks nice. And so that one's just about, hanging out with him, basically,
Getting ugly.
Getting ugly. Yeah, that's about right. That one's a fun one. We love playing that one live.
It's the whole process, It's very cool to have nothing, get in a room together, all of a sudden have something and then sort of nurture it, let that grow, and then you get to play it live and see how it goes over. If it's well, that's great, and if it's not well, then you do better next time. But it comes back to that whole kind of organic process of writing and performing, and then going back to the drawing boards, knowing more than you did initially, and doing it again.
There's a drawback to how easy it is for people to put music out. Is it kind of like, I don't want to say oversaturates a certain scene or anything like that, because I mean,
The more
just
the merrier.
well, that's the thing though, is people, if you're able to put together music and release it, that's a beautiful thing. But people that are trying to be stars or anything like that, it's just making really, really talented people have to work harder for it. You have to do your own work, which I think is a good thing.
Overlooked or sometimes overlooked.
Right.
I think the technology is a big part of it too, though, because if you look at the form and functions of how companies and record labels and all that stuff worked when you had records and actual albums and stuff, there was a period of time where you had to anticipate an album coming out. You could get into a band like Zeppelin when Zeppelin 2 came out. You had to wait for Zeppelin 3. You had to listen to that record. That's all you had. And I think as it went from that to 8-tracks to cassettes to CDs to now digital downloads, and I think as the technology has increased and become better in certain ways, it definitely makes it, like Rob was saying, much easier to make music. And that's why the market can get oversaturated with not the talented people always used to be the ones that would be the top bands, you know what I mean? And it's sort of hard now, I think, when you have so many, middle to lower level bands sort of in the market, because like Madison said, you can get overlooked very easily. So I think for us, social media, like Rob said, is sort of a double-edged sword where we can use it to communicate with people, pick up shows, find all that stuff, but at the same time, since everybody's doing it, it's sort of, you get lost in the milieu of that a little bit, I think.
I mean, we wouldn't be here right now if it weren't
Very
for
true.
social media.
There's so much out there, and I don't think everybody needs to make millions and millions of dollars. So I think having a lot of bands out there and getting more and more people into music, like social media making it easy for people to get music out there, and like he was saying, technology is making it easier for people to record and blah blah blah. I think it really helps a lot, but some people might say that it's ruining them.
Yeah, I think the people out there that are trying to be stars,
Yeah.
it's just
It's not $1 million business.
No.
If you're gonna have a band, it's for fun, and I think that's what it. I don't know. Maybe that's not the right thing.
It's hard to be a rock star nowadays, It's hard. It's not the same industry it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. You don't have those opportunities to do that much anymore unless you're sort of doing a certain thing. And I know other musicians would disagree and say that there's opportunity everywhere, but I think they're very, very small. I think subconsciously a little bit it's not the stated goal, but we always try to really go out and really crush it live. Because we're musicians, we're players, we get off on that. It's what we like to do. So
yeah, it's fun. I think that's the driving force behind it. It's just awesome.
They named themselves that time.
Fun. There's a driving fun with a period. No, I mean, it kind of goes back to the live performances, but the social media aspect, it kind of draws back to that a little bit. There's so many people that are filming shows and taking cell phones out. I mean, if you become a little bit more of a reputable band and gain a following, you have to be tight live, because if somebody records your show and you suck, that's exposed to the world, if you just Google that band. So live performance is more important than, I think it's ever been, at least in my lifetime.
Yeah, and I like having something, they might not say the same thing, but having a little something different in the live performance too. Like, every one of my favorite bands, every time I saw them live, unless it was like a crazy, progressive metal band, but like a lot of the bands, when I see them live, what I like to do is they have something different in their live performance in the song. Whereas, like, instead of just playing the CD, like, to the T,
Unless you're Pink Floyd playing The Wall.
Yeah. But so,
Don't
there's
change anything.
Yeah, there is something to that too. Playing exact. But I like also doing a little something different.
Anyone that listens to the music, just, thanks for listening to it. We're super proud of it.
And tell people, tell your friends, spread it. Word of mouth, I think, beyond social media is still the best way. That's how bands get hyped. So, but again,
Don't force it on anybody, though.
Yeah, no.